What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get into today, which is March 26th, 2026. All right. So today we had a lot of things happening. Some of the same things happening, to be honest, just more and more of the same. The TSA not being paid. Remember when we mentioned the TSA not being paid yesterday, and having, DHS having ICE there getting paid, and they're getting paid an extraordinary amount of money, over 100-something grand, whatever it is. And these people are figuring out how to even, eat tonight. And they're just sitting there chilling, eating pretzels and food and shit while these people are working. Like, how are you helping? I said that last night. The news started talking about it today, that they're not helping. They're just sitting there. And this is one of the things that they were saying is MS Now. They're saying that the actual deployment is failing. The lines aren't easing. Security is not easing. The union officials say the fundamental problem is training. TSA officers require 4 to 6 months of certification before they can screen passengers at checkpoints, a time that cannot be compressed. So in order for ICE to be able to help TSA at all, they need 4 to 6 months training. And we know they haven't been trained as ICE. ICE had them on like a couple weeks or a month or something like that training. And here they are, you just think they can do anything. These ICE people who more than often is not trained. And I'm pretty sure the ones that were trained are the ones at the airport, because they can take their mask off. I mean, you don't want to see, the Proud Boys take their mask off, because that's who they are. I mean, you got to think about it. Have you heard from the Proud Boys and all those white nationalist organizations that was all up in the streets marching and doing January 6th? Have you heard from them? I haven't heard about them in the news whatsoever. They disappeared. They were so loud and proud and strong. Why would this white nationalist group just disappear? They didn't. They became ICE. They got a paycheck. They cashed in. No wonder they funded ICE for 4 years. And here they are trying to get more funding for ICE. I mean, it's like, what? They put ICE in the mix for what? They're funded for 4 years. Why are we even in this conversation? ICE shouldn't even be here. ICE is already funded for 4 years. We got over 3 years and some change, 2.5 years or something like that. Why? Why are we even having them in the mix? And Republicans are all mad. Well, the Democrats just won't make a deal. They have made a deal. Donald Trump and Thune took it to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump turned it down. So you guys literally had a deal and was handed it to Trump, and Trump said no. And then you go right back to the table again and blame Democrats. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, the country is crazy. I just have to understand that there is a huge percent of Americans, too huge, 30% is a lot, 77 million people who are ditzy as fuck. You can't see that these people aren't getting paid because of who you put into office? It's insane. But this is what's happening, and they still aren't getting paid. I don't know how these people, it's been 40 something days or whatever, 48, something like that. Didn't you hear the senator say that 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? 40 days is how many paychecks? I don't know if they get paid once a month or they get paid every 2 weeks or whatever it may be. But if they got paid every week, you're looking at least, every 8 paychecks? That's 8 weeks, right? 40 days times 5 or 7, it'd be like, 5, I guess, 35. I'm still working on the next one. But 5 paychecks. 5 paychecks. Who could live right now without having 5 paychecks, without digging into your savings or somewhere, retirement fund, moving in with somebody, hopefully have a husband or a wife that has a job and you guys can eat off of that, borrow money. You know how many people are getting in debt to do this? I know there are many people borrowing cash until it comes back, but they got to pay that back with interest. I know you got to do what you got to do, but this country should not have, even employees. Our government should not be like closing down at all as a tactic. It should not be a thing. The people should be funded. If anybody that should be closed down, if they're going to have something closed down, it should be the actual representatives and the senators. They should go without pay until they make the decision. Then you'll see how quick they want to make a decision when their pocketbook is fucked with. Because throughout all this going down, they still get their paycheck. They should be the ones that suffer, not America. They should fund everything that America needs, and the senators and representatives shouldn't get a paycheck. In fact, fuck all that not getting the paycheck shit. The senators and representatives should get a fine for as long as they do not make a deal happen. $500 a day. This will make their ass work. Because none of them will want to pay $500 a day. You get in there and you fucking make a decision. But when everybody else got to pay for it, you just nonchalant. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to go take 2 weeks off. And the world's going to be mad at you. No. You pay the world for their shit. Not world, but the American people for their shit. You got problems, then you don't get paid. You work for America for free until you get it paid. Not only free, you pay us. And that fund that you pay, you never get back. You never get back. That money's got to go to the people or something like that. That would be my because you got to get these people to work. When they don't feel the pain, they can take whenever they fucking want. And we got people out here probably even dying. I would not doubt it, without food. But 40 days might not be, death or situation, but these people are, I'm pretty sure, starving, some of them. And hopefully the job is offering them lunch and shit, at least. You feel me? I hope. And there should be a fund, a GoFundMe if they don't. Well, I don't know exactly whether there is or isn't. I got to search for that. It just came to the top of my head right now. See if there's a GoFundMe for these TSA agents to be able to at least feed them while they're at work. I don't know whether these people are doing without food. 40 days without pay? Come on. 48 or something like that? That's ridiculous. But just like I said, that's what's happening. The ICE people have no idea what they're doing. And they're just sitting there eating Wexels, Pretzels and shit. Just waiting on everybody else. I wonder what are we supposed to be doing? Just sitting there. And you'll see them. They're literally just standing there. They used to be sitting there like in a group. Then they started spreading out, basically being security, standing in at the entrances and just staring at people. I mean, that's a expensive, like Walmart greeter is what they are. So you get reporters asking House Speaker Mike Johnson about TSA, and this is what his ass had to say.
Senate gets that through the Senate. Will you put it on the floor?
We'll have to see. We have to solve the problem, and it's very sad that Democrats are not interested in doing that. Yes.
Does that mean that you're not in favor of breaking the DHS funding bill apart, just funding TSA, just funding FEMA, having individual votes on each section?
We have never been in favor of breaking the bill up. Why? Because it's one of the 12 separate appropriations bills that is the most basic function of Congress to fund the government. And we did it in a bipartisan, bicameral manner.
Senate gets.
All right, ho. This man is lying, right? Remember MAGA. Early on, when Donald Trump was president the first time, they said they wanted to vote. They want an up and down vote on every bill. They did not want to have things bundled together. They wanted to vote one bill at a time. And the Democrats were saying, that's going to be tedious. They said they want one bill at a time. them. I remember Matt Gaetz literally going like off on that. We should do that. Also, Mark Wayne misspoke. Mullen said the same thing. So this is something that the MAGA people was fighting for. Marjorie Taylor Greene the same way. We should have an up and down vote on one thing in a bill, not all of it. And this is when the Democrats, Joe Biden was doing Joe Biden when Joe Biden was in office. We want to vote on one thing at a time. And now he's talking about we would never want to do that. You wanted to do that. I mean, the yo-yoing is getting on my damn nerves. And Democrats, don't pull this shit. Please, don't pull this shit when you get in. I ain't trying to hear, well, Republicans ain't gonna. No, we put you in power. Fuck them. They don't know how to govern, and they don't know how to make good decisions. Every decision Republicans make are fucked up decisions for the American people. And if this presidency right here don't wise some of you dumbass MAGA people up, I don't know what the fuck will. Your orange, decrepit piece of shit president is fucking up at every turn. Tell me one thing he's gotten right since he came back. Last time he didn't get shit right. You guys want to give him Obama's section of his first part of his presidency where he didn't have any bills actually passed and Obama's shit was still in place and it was moving up and up like it was prior to. Not until he started messing with shit and throwing in his own bills did the shit start to go down. But you want to take credit for that part. But then the remaining 2 years of his presidency, total trash. It was so much greater 2 years before. Yeah. He didn't have anything but a tax cut. And that's when everything started to fall apart. And this is the same thing. He's trying to get a $2 trillion tax cut. He done fired everybody who's supposed to be able to do their jobs in the government. He's hired a bunch of dipshit people to run every aspect of our government. Pete Hegseth, dumbass. Kakai Kash Patel, whom I haven't seen in a little bit, dumbass. Kristi Noem, dumbass. They got rid of her, right? Put in Mark Wayne, misspoke Mullen, and this dude's a complete dumbass. And the only thing they can claim to feign is success, whiteness. That's it. Tell me where they had success in anything they've done. We haven't heard one bill by Mark Wayne Mullen. Not at all. We heard him read like a hickory dickory type of doc type of book talking about race. Well, why would my kids have to read this? Why don't we all read why don't we read this book? Because we don't like people forcing people what the fuck to read, Mark Wayne Mullen. And I don't know why you tripping, because you don't read. As you read that book a year or two ago, it sounded like this is what your first time discovering, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish types of books. You was reading it all slow, and I'm sitting there like, you're a grown-ass man. You sound like a 4-year-old. How the hell are you reading that book so slow? And this is what we get. Below mediocre white men running our country. And you see what we got. You farmers out there with 3 teeth and shit and got corn in your mouth to make it another tooth and shit. You dipshits decided to do this. He fucked up your farming again. Then you get handouts again. I'm beginning to think you just like handouts. I get tired of you guys saying, well, we don't want a handout. Well, then bitch, stop voting for people who force you to have a handout. Because every Republican forces you to have a handout, but you stuck to Republicans. So quit acting like you don't want a handout when in fact you want it. You're welfare farmers. Keep it real. You're a welfare farmer. You want money for nothing. You want to make bad decisions and force Americans to bail your dumb ass out. I said what I said. You can't keep repeating the same fucking thing and then say like, I didn't know it was going to happen. Bush did it. Trump did it the first time. Then you elected the fucker again. He did it the second time. How many fucking times you got to realize? You put in Republicans, they fuck you over and give you free money. So either you're stupid or you're greedy. I'm going with greedy because I can't, well, then again, I got to turn it around. I'm going with stupid and greedy, you both. Because up until Donald Trump became the president the first time, I never thought Americans, not one of us, was as dumb as MAGA. I did not know it spread to 77 plus million people that could be this fucking stupid. I never thought that. I literally had so much pride in America and believing that America could never be got like these other countries. And I'd be damned if these dumbasses didn't get got. Could you imagine? There were people in this country were literally running around talking about some scary creature on the internet that they would search and get a code. Oh, he gave me this code, and the code is a D5. Go on a DuckDuckGo, look up D, and the first letter, then look up. What the fuck are you doing? But you thought you was up to some shit. Oh, and you got some strange person you never met sending you to crazy places on the internet that they created so you can start reading some propaganda bullshit down a rabbit hole. And then all of a sudden you act like, oh, I wasn't in that. Yes, you were. You was in a cult. I had white friends who was in it. I didn't have any black friends in it, I don't think. I had Asian and Latin friends who was in it. Just constantly looking down this rabbit hole. And I'm like, where are you getting this shit from? Oh, you got to go to DuckDuckGo. Can't go to Google. I'm like, man, you're a DuckDuck dumbass. The fuck you talking about? It's a search engine that people can't see you. Why you got to go somewhere where you can't be seen? To go find information. And why would you trust somebody that's sending you down a rabbit hole that nobody else gets to see but your dumbass and people like you? I'm just like, and the thing is called QAnon. I could not fathom that was a real thing in this country. I thought our education level, and foolish of me to think so, was beyond the 4th grade. I thought that. I thought we couldn't be fooled like that. I thought that was other countries. And lo and behold, I was fucking wrong. I was 1,000% wrong. You guys, the 77 plus million MAGA, you are beyond dumb. You're weak. You're feckless. You shouldn't even be able to vote. There should be an IQ test for you guys to be able to vote, because I be damned. Your brain is less than an 18-year-old, because at the time an 18-year-old got into school, they should know how to do real research, as opposed, you should have a spidey sense that if somebody's sending you down a rabbit hole to get information, don't pay attention to the other shit that you've been taught how to learn. Go to another place and learn differently. You would think, wait a minute, this has got to be some kind of cult shit. Why would I go over here and learn that, there's a different type of Christianity? They got this whole other Christianity that believes in people need killing. Just need killing. Like, because they don't believe the way I believe. And you didn't think, that's weird. That's not Jesus like. No, you went over to the non-Jesus world, a total alternative universe, and started telling everybody else, this is factual over here. Who would have thought that 77 plus million people were this fucking stupid? I didn't. I know now. You've taught me something. I've learned something since 2015. And it's scary to think that your brain could be affected that way. That your brain is so defective that you can sit there and listen to lies. And a woman, what's her name? I remember what's her first name. Her last name is Conway. George Conway used to be married to her. I called her the Crypt Keeper because she did nothing but, she was barely skin, saggy skin and bones. And Kellyanne Conway. I remember her on Fox coming out, well, that's alternative facts. I'm like, bitch, what's an alternative fact? That was the first time I heard it. I'm like, how? He just told you a fact. And then you told him the opposite of a fact and called it an alternative fact. Like, you can have your own facts. Say what? And our country was falling into this rabbit hole. And this rabbit hole of alternative facts was nothing but white supremacy. They were getting white people to feel like they were being treated unfairly. So come over here and listen to these white facts from white people telling you how to rewrite white history and make it American history. Then they started groups that would go out and get parents of all races, colors, and creeds to start saying books aren't good, books aren't smart, You need to be like ignorant, and that's ignorant is the new smart. And here, read this book. And these books were books that were rewritten to tell you that white people are good. They taught you how to do a trade. I mean, that was called slavery, but in actuality, was it slavery? It was like a harsh trade school. And these dipshits were eating it up. I remember seeing black and Latin women taking pictures with these dumbass white women talking about this shit. I was like, what the fuck? Mothers of something, moms of liberty. Same thing as the moms did back in the day, the sisters of the Confederacy. Back in the day when they whitewashed history back then. It ain't nothing but the exact same thing happening again because people didn't know the history. They did it again. And here it is. We've been trying to educate people. They did it again. They're doing it again. We told you as it was happening. We gave you the information as it was happening. And these dipshits still went down that path. Why? Because they got tired of feeling that they were guilty about what happened with their ancestors. And I want to give something. The Daughters of the Confederacy. Thank you. The Daughters of the Confederacy. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Rudy and Planet Janet. So they did that. And here's the thing. Why did you feel guilty? Why did these white people feel guilty? The thing that kills me is that back in the day, there was two types, even also back then. There were still two types of white people. Now, don't get me wrong, slavery still was going on. But the ones who didn't like it were called abolitionists. The ones who were fighting against it and helped with the Underground Railroad were the abolitionists. They were white people. They could have lost their lives just like us. In fact, many of them did lose their lives when they caught the slave inside their home. They were gone. They had to go to another house. So you had the abolitionists. Why couldn't you attach yourself to the abolitionists? Because in your mind, you automatically knew you came from racist roots because you done heard your grandma, great grandma. You knew they weren't abolitionists. So you felt bad and therefore wanted to hide history, but couldn't even celebrate the good white people, couldn't associate themselves with the good white people. They get mad because they think everybody thinks that they're the racist white people. Why would you attach yourself to the bad ones? You know why? Because you're a bad one and you want to hide that. Because why wouldn't you attach yourself to the good ones that fought? The good ones that literally were there being abolitionists that had the Underground Railroad for us and didn't tell the white people where we were. Why didn't you associate yourself with them? Because you associated yourself with the racist and then try to hide it. I want my kid to feel bad. Then tell your kid that you believe that they were good white people too. They were called abolitionists, but still tell the truth. There were some bad ones. So baby, you can associate yourself with the bad ones or the good ones. It tells a lot about the people who felt so bad and guilty because they know they're part of the bad ones. And that's why they feel guilty. But when you have white friends that don't feel guilty, they know in their heart of hearts, the way their mom act, the way their dad act, the way their grandparents act, and they weren't racist, they were more likely abolitionists. But they also knew, even when white people were abolitionists then, that there were some badass white people they did not like, that they would lie to and protect black people over. But they never associated themselves with that. And there's a reason for it. They continued to try and tell you to forget, black people's history. That's what all that stuff went down. And I mean, I know I went off a track, but that's the stuff that went down for that. And I'm sick of like always having this debate and realizing that there are just stupid people in our country that just do not want to learn, to educate themselves, to admit when they're wrong and get on the right side of history. It's easy. You make a mistake, you admit it. It's simple. You saw me, Rudy and Planet Janet, correcting me with the Daughters of Confederacy because I said the moms or something. I know Moms of Liberty, that's today. I think I said Sisters of Confederacy or something like that. Quick. My bad. She got it right. Simple. Doesn't hurt you. We're all on the same track. That's the way it should be. I love that. You feel me? So that's what we need to be at. But I went off there because it pisses me off, man. It pisses me off that people can't tell the truth. And you got Mike Johnson here acting like they didn't believe, or now they don't believe, that we should separate bills. They should all be clumped together when they wanted separate bills under Biden and under Trump the first time, when they couldn't govern for shit. And still can't. And here's another thing. There was I guess he's trying to sign a bill. Senator Kennedy. John Kennedy, is it? Or forget his name. I always get him. I gotta think about Ted Kennedy. I remember him being a Democrat. But Senator Kennedy, he is trying to sign a bill or make a bill to be able to do exactly the way they did the Epstein files. Put it in and automatically have it passed. And so he wants to do that. He's writing it up, and he spoke about it before he actually had done it, and then he actually tried to pass it, or he's trying to get to pass it. And listen to what he says first, and then you'll hear what actually happened after.
I'm drafting now a bill that will just open up TSA. That's it. Open up TSA. I think my Republican colleagues will vote for it. I don't see how the Democrats can vote against it.
Okay. The Democrats have been trying to open up TSA this entire time. This is the dishonesty part that I can't stand. Why can't he just tell the fucking truth? He should have said, if it's just going to be the TSA only and I don't have no pork in it and I'll try to sneak some other little shit in the fine print, Democrats, I know, will pass it because that's what they've been wanting. Now, my problem's going to be Republicans and maybe Donald Trump. Or better yet, maybe Republicans and Donald Trump. That would have been more factual, fact-based, because that's how everything's been running. They in the Senate, which he's a senator, Thune already had. They all came up, it was a bipartisan bill they already came up with to open everything up and then go into reconciliation. And you got to understand something. The reconciliation part, they don't even need the Democrats to pass it. It's 50 plus 1. All the Republicans would have voted for their ICE, and the Democrats would have voted no, and we still would have lost it, and they would have got their money. It's a win-win for them. But they chose no. And Donald Trump said, well, they said yes, because they figured it's a win-win for us. No matter. They take it to Trump. He says no. They didn't fight it, which they should have, because again, it's like, Trump, we're getting everything we want. They're getting what they want. We're getting everything we want. We want ICE to be taken care of. We're getting it. We're just not getting it, the Democrats to vote on it. They're saying no. And we're at a stalemate. There's no other way to go around it. And then they went back to the table and blamed Democrats for dipshit Don. And the thing that kills me, most Americans won't know this. They just come back and listen to their particular leader in their community, tell them the Republican lies. And then you get the news trying to both sides shit. I get so sick of both sides. And MS Now, NBC, CBS, ABC, all of y'all, quit both sides in this shit. You see that the Republicans are not serious. And you sit there and allow these Republicans to come on air and literally say this bullshit without you saying it in their face like, well, how is that sentence? How you had a bill already passed and Donald Trump vetoed it, said no. Thune took it to him. So how is it the Democrats' fault? And vice versa. When it's Democrats in the lead and they sit here trying their best to get the Republicans to get on it just so they can have something on them and play all this gamesmanship, you're like, fuck that. The Americans need it. So we ain't got time for the games. Whoever gets the blame gets the blame. Who cares? Or gets the accolades, get the accolades. It's not about that. It's about getting Americans what they need and deserve, because we're paying taxes, and that money should be going back to help the American citizens so that our economy grows and every last one of us has an opportunity by just getting a job, to have a thriving economy, to start a business. It can't be healthy if every time you turn around, a representative or a senator is trying their best to infect it with cancer. And it's like, dude, stop already. All of us know these people in TSA, they are Republicans, Democrats, independents, and people who don't vote. So you're hurting all constituents. And acting like coming back and saying, it's the Democrats, oh, it's the Republicans, oh, it's the Democrats. Like that fucking matters. At this point in time, at any point in time, we don't have to close down. You can easily come up with this reconciliation. Keep the one where you can vote 50 plus one. You're going to automatically get that if you're in leadership. And the other ones, let those go. But this one-upmanship, this gamemanship stuff, we're going to make them do it. Why? These people need to eat and you're playing games. You did the exact same shit with SNAP. Our citizens, our brothers and sisters were out here without food, and these American citizens came together. I want America to know this is our moment. You got to understand something. I don't think people pay attention to what's going on in this country. I think everybody's on cruise control. I didn't say everybody, but a lot of people who aren't paying attention, you know what I'm saying? I look at all these social media accounts and stuff like that as I scroll through, and everybody's just having a happy moment and shit like that, and you enjoying the country that you live in. But you got to understand something. This shit's falling the fuck apart at the seams. You ain't got time to be sitting here like it's just going to handle itself. It's going to work itself out. That's what they want you to do. And as you do that, the shit falls apart. And then you're going to be wondering like, they fired everybody and a robot's working for me and AI's got everything. Where was I? Asleep, bitch. You was asleep. As we were telling you, you was the fuck asleep, walking around wide-eyed and fucking sleep. That's where you were. This right here is America's second 9/11, but it's not an enemy outside the country. The enemy is within the country. These countries, Donald Trump by himself has begun to do to America just by bombing Iran what 9/11 people wanted to do to us. Destroy America. Donald Trump is single-handedly destroying the entire world economically over something he thought he was going to get in and get out like he did with Venezuela, and had no backup plan if the Venezuela game plan didn't work in Iran. No backup plan. He still hasn't even told our constituents why he did it and what's the strategy. They need to know. And not everybody, the committee that's supposed to be told, the Gang of Eight, the military, the intelligence people, they need to know. And those senators and representatives can come back to us and tell us what's not classified. And be able to calm us down and say, hey, this is not as bad as you think. We're going to try and get this. But you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing, so you can't relay it. This has never happened in American history in the entire 250 years until now. This is worse than 9/11. We lost 3,000 bodies. We're about to lose thousands, more than 3,000. They sent, is it 10,000 troops today? They sent 10,000 the other day and 3,000 or something like that. And then we had 50,000 already there. So we got the 50, 60,000 or something, whatever it is that we have there. Why are you sending so many people there when the war's already over and we already won? They got 600,000, I guess, active. They said up to 1 million. So I don't know what that 400,000 difference is. I don't know that. But let's just go with 600,000, say on the low end. Against 100,000, 30,000? Well, not 50. It's a 50,000 already there. So what? 80,000? They're going to get slaughtered. Not to disrespect our American military, but they're going to their slaughter. They've already, they think they're stealth, like, oh, we're just so smart. No, dude, they prepared for the war when you guys came out there and went to negotiations and you sent all those ships out there, that armor, what's it called? I said Carmageddon. But when they sent all the ships surrounding everything and military out in the water, out a little bit around there, they sent that entire thing, that fleet of ships, military ships out there while they negotiated. Iran thought 10,000 steps ahead of them. Said, "Oh, okay, that's what they're doing." So this ain't a negotiation, y'all. This is a war. So let's get our shit together, get our strategy together, and let's keep talking to them. And then we bombed them like they thought we would, and then they fucked with us just like they didn't know we would. They would rather. We had no clue because our people were dipshits. Our military knew, our intelligence knew, but Donald Trump and his minions, he's got leading it, this crackpot group of dipshits, they didn't. And they're coming out talking all tough. We're going to kill until they kill and bombed. And shut up. Nobody wants to hear all that shit. We won't hear our military people bragging about their abilities. Who wants to hear that shit? We think that you're the greatest, but when you got to brag about being the greatest, then you must be weak. Our military, this is what I hate about what they've done to our military, because not to our military, I guess that too, but to the image of our military. To other countries, the image of our military is buffoonish. We are here boasting and bragging. No, you bring the heat. You ain't got to talk about it. That's why you have a bunch of pussies running our country. All they got to talk about, oh, we fight, we going to do this, we going to do that. Shut the fuck up. People who are actually good at their fucking job of doing this type of shit, mum's the word. They sneak attack. They ain't got no, we're going to do what we have to do to save America and be safe. Next question. Yeah, we're going to bomb and shoot, and then we're going to throw down a hammer. What the fuck are you talking about? You've been watching too many goddamn war movies and playing too many fucking games and listening to this bullshit. You can hear that they're talking like fucking a video game. You've never heard in your entire life, ask anybody, I'm 55, ask anybody who's my age or older, have you ever heard of the military men and women talk like Pete Hegseth and these other dipshits and any president that has talked like these dipshits while going into war or even defending this country? It is calm. It is, don't worry, we got this. It is informing the people what they need to know to keep them calm, not bomb away and kill and we're going to blow them up and we're going to this and death. And who does this shit? It's not a cage match. It's not entertainment. This is buffoonish. You got a military in Iran that's not as strong as ours, but tactically, they're fucking brilliant. They don't talk at all. They lead with their strategy. They have a fucking strategy. We don't. We're building one. It's taking us weeks to figure out what we got to do next. And then Donald Trump's out here bitching and moaning, saying, well, you know, I'll tell you exactly in a minute because I got video of him in his like 17-hour fucking, it wasn't 17 hours, like it just felt like that briefing today. It's just pitiful. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't know about y'all, but have you been seeing, I follow Al Jazeera, like I said, Zateo, and there's a couple other ones. You know, I kind of try to check and see if this stuff is propaganda. So I kind of like look at different ones and kind of like, that one said this and this one said a different thing. So I'm kind of like, you know, wondering what's what. But I'm starting to see a bunch of these things, and they're like, you know, we didn't talk to Donald Trump this way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm starting to see what's going on around the world, so to speak. In our country, not even just seeing it, hearing what they say. Like and it's not like, it's our allies too are saying, whether it be Europe, whether it be France, you know, other countries that you know, that we, like Saudi Arabia and certain of the things that they've said, like we wish they would have told us about this, but now we have to do what we have to do. Everybody's befuddled and pissed off and confused and not knowing what's going on, whether to help America or not, while Donald Trump threatens them. And we look like the biggest dipshits on the fucking planet. Everybody's being affected by dumb decisions by America. I mean, dumbass decisions. And every country knows it. How the hell are we respected anywhere when every country knows that America is being led by a bunch of dipshits? If any country wanted to take us right the fuck now, they could with these people in. Any. All they need is a strategy. These dipshits have shown when the shit hit the fan, it's been 4 weeks, and what do they come up with? Nothing. A pressure tactic to say they're trying to talk to us because it's over. We done obliterated them. If 3 countries got together, they could fuck us up with a strategy right now because they're watching our leader, and our leader at this moment has no clue. They're walking in the dark. Where the fuck we at? Any country that wanted to take us right now could. What are we going to do? Nuke everybody? And even if we did, we couldn't take every country. Not all the ones that hate us. Couldn't nuke them all. This is the weakest America has been. And these countries are watching us fumble. And there's no leader showing that this country right here is strong. We look weak. Bomb away. They realize something. This is one thing that we realize, and other countries are realizing, even by Americans, if you're really paying attention and not trying to gaslight yourself. We got precision. We got military that knows what they're doing. They high-powered guns and weaponry and all of that. But it starts at the top of strategy. If these people have guns and all that, but they don't know where and what to shoot, and they're just randomly shooting shit, they haven't figured out like how to take this whole enemy down in some way, shape, or form. What's more important, what's not important. They don't have no strategy. You're fucked. You can blow up everything, but if you ain't hitting the main sources, you still in the fight. They get out here and brag about what they hit. Make a reel with video games mixed in between it about what they blew up. One of the videos in there was them blowing up a plane which was painted. And Lord, has these other countries had a field day with America thinking they blew up something, whereas this country thought ahead of time and said, let's put a fleet of our planes and paint those bitches and take the planes somewhere else. And we were over there, sure, boom, blowing up concrete, painted concrete. It's disappointing. Comical for them, I'm sure. So look at these dipshits. America's being led by the little rascals. It's I don't know.
It doesn't affect any other part of DHS.
Now,
TSA is more important than anybody else at DHS, but it's pretty damned important to the American people right now who are standing in line for 5 hours.
okay, so now he's trying to act like he gave a fuck about the people. And of course he's going to say that because the people are pissed off at them right now. And they realizing that these people don't really have their backs. None whatsoever. And this guy here is trying to be one of those people who says, look, I'm doing something for you constituents. I bet you his constituent was lighting his ass up. That's why his phone line. Because he ended up writing a bill. This is one of those dudes who stays to that far right. He stays to it. He even goes way off to the far right, wandering around with some stupid questions often. Or even pushing people down a path to make it more, strange than it actually needs to be. I saw him do ask a guy, a black guy, he was a sheriff or something like that, or head sheriff, whatever he was, and he was leading him down this path, and the head sheriff's like, yeah, I believe in, when he was talking about people who left his police force, not police, that left his offices, police station, when they caught somebody, and then that person was released, that the ICE would ask him to hold the person and things like that. He's like, we abide by the law here. And the law at the time for this individual, when we release them, was that we can't hold people for ICE. We can tell you when they're leaving, and you can be out there on your own, but I can't throw them in jail or hold on to them for you. That's illegal. Can't do that. I'll notify you when he arrives. You get here when you get here. We do our little process. If he's going to stay in, that's one thing. But if you got to get him, come get him. And this guy, the senator, he comes up and says, you know, Senator Kennedy, he's trying to force this black guy to say something that he's calm as hell. It's like, nah, I didn't do that. I follow the law. He said, the law has changed since. And now I call people and let them know to pick them up, and we're letting them go at what time we're letting them go. It's up to them to arrive. I'm not going to hold them, but I will let you know. So he was trying his best. That's the type of person Senator Kennedy is. And here it is. He's trying to do right. And he's saying Democrats, I don't know why they would hold it up. Well, they would hold it up if you put pork in it. If you decided to put, this, and then they read, because they read. See, they're not going to, Democrats, except for Senator Schumer. He reads, but I ain't going to say that. And John Fetterman, he's backstabbing. Yeah. Anyway, they read it. And therefore, they'll find the little situation in there and be like, no, that's an ixnay. That's no. Because Republicans, I'm sure Democrats do it too. They're sneaky. So they're trying to get something through. And like they did that one bill, they put in there something about the senators who got their phones taken, or representatives, whatever, got their phones taken and searched for their information during this investigation, January 6th and all that they can get $500,000 for this, that, and the third. They snuck that into a bill last second after everybody voted on it and shit like that, and it supposedly just passed. And I guess they did something, like, I don't know if it got taken out later, but that's what they do. And this is what Senator Kennedy's trying to do. At least I think that's what he's trying to do. I don't know for sure, but he thought the Republicans were going to go for it, and the Democrats was going to say, you know, I don't know why they wouldn't want to do it. Well, turns out that the senators, instead of passing the bill, they up until before I came on, they held on to, everybody already voted, done voting. They didn't close it yet. Because if they had closed it, the next thing that came up or whatever would have been, you know, Senator John Kennedy's little bill. And yeah, it was Republicans that didn't want to see his bill make it to the floor. He says, it's told us that the GOP leadership is intentionally keeping the vote open to block him from offering a unanimous consent request to fund TSA. It's an extraordinary accusation on Kennedy's behalf. He went against MAGA. And that to me was like, wow, somebody got to him. Because that dude, he's always MAGA this, MAGA that. He went against MAGA trying to make that bill. And it turns out your own party, MAGA, held it back. I don't know why the Democrats would hold on to it, but I know my Republicans would pass it. It kills me how these people are devoid of common sense. It's like, or just manipulative. He had to have known that. And why sucker yourself? I mean, if he didn't know it, man, these people are just astronomically stupid. But I looked at that. I knew when he said it that I'm like, you want to think more Republicans going to give you problems. Now, if you didn't know this past week or whatever, Donald Trump and his Mar-a-Lago in Florida, I think it's Naples, I think it is. But anyway, in Florida, a Democrat won to actually represent his district, right? A woman. And congratulations to her. And Donald Trump voted. But Donald Trump voted with the absentee ballot. And somebody asked him about it. Want to hear it? I don't want to take that from the actual person who did it, David Allen Greer. But here it goes.
Tell me about mail-in ballots. Go ahead. You mean I used a mail-in ballot?
That's
You
right,
probably
mail-in
said,
ballot.
yeah, I did.
Why did you
You know
use
what?
that?
Because I'm president of the United States, and because of the fact that I'm president of the United States, I did a mail-in ballot for elections that took place in Florida, because I felt I should be here instead of being in the beautiful sunshine
But you
taking.
were in Palm Beach, sir, the last few weekends.
That's right, and I decided that I was going to vote by mail-in ballot because I couldn't be there, because I had a lot of different things. But you know, we have exceptions for mail-in ballots. You do know that, right? So if you're away, we have an exception. If you're in the military, we have an exception. If you're on a business trip, we have an exception. If you're disabled, we have an exception. And if you're ill, if you're not feeling good, we have. So I was away, mostly in Washington, D.C., so I used a mail-in ballot. But I appreciate the question because I know it was so well-meaning.
Okay. And thank you again, Rube. Mail-in ballot. So he has a mail-in ballot. He's always voted the mail-in ballot. Now, in Florida, he's only voted since 2019. So I don't know where he was voting before. I'm guessing New York. But whatever. He's only voted twice, supposedly, from what was reported earlier. Well, not twice, but 2019. He hasn't voted before then. So I'm trying to find out something with this mail-in ballot. When I'm thinking about it, it reminded me of something that I recovered. I found out many years ago, but I did a video on it probably a couple years ago, maybe. But I went and got it and found it. I want to, when you pay attention to what Donald Trump is saying, he's making it seem as though it's okay to vote with the mail-in ballot. But he didn't have a exemption in his speeches. He said mail-in ballot, period. He didn't say, oh, if you got this and if you're sick and you're handicapped. He didn't say that. He said mail-in ballots are bad. We don't want you to do them. They're fraud. They should be illegal. He didn't say unless you're handicapped, unless you're not there. Well, mail-in ballots are just for those reasons. If you're not there, the only time it became, not everybody qualified for mail-in ballots beforehand, before the pandemic. The pandemic was a reason why everybody could get it if you decided that you want to do that, or you want to go out there and stand 6 feet away from somebody. So that's when it became everybody could do it if you signed up for it. Now, he's trying to say, that they want to give all this extra stuff, and all they're doing is trying to make it harder for people to vote. Republicans want that all the time, not because it's fraud, it's because if you didn't throw hurdles into being able to vote, Republicans, and hear me clearly, would never win again. They know it. If you don't try and make it hard to vote, they would never win again. They have a deterrence, just like when they had black people count marbles, or how many jelly beans, or how many kernels of corn on a corn on the cob, whatever it may be. They have a deterrence. And when you start to pay attention to history, you've seen this before over and over and over again. And most people think like, oh, it's the history, it's back there, or they don't want to hear it. Once you say history, they turn off, or or they'll go into some hiding place mentally that they don't want to hear it anymore. But they have no problems, some of these people, when you throw in a conspiracy theory and saying that, it's people who are immigrants are coming over here and vote. No, that's not true. The people who are voting double have been mostly Republicans, voting for their family member, their dog that may have a real name, their fucking grandmother who's dead, their dad who's passed away, where they live in this particular city and they got another house over here. You only can vote in one of them, whichever one is your main house. They'll vote at the house that they have, their vacation house in another state. They'll go and vote there. Those people have been caught, which means the system works. Donald Trump lies and lies and lies. It's the art of repetition. Keep saying it some dipshit will start believing it, and that dipshit tell another dipshit, and next thing you know, you got 77 point whatever million dipshits in the world that are attached to being stupid, being afraid. Fear is the biggest factor of what these people prey on. They punk you with fear. They know you're a bunch of wussies, and they tell you, be scared, be very afraid, and then you get afraid. You can ask them, what you're afraid of? What am I afraid of? What are you afraid of? Them that your Republican won't win? Well, good for that, because your Republicans suck. Maybe if you had qualified Republicans, people will actually want them to be leading. But they're not qualified. They're almost always dipshits. They're almost always greedy people that don't care about nobody. They always want to give taxes to make you think they're giving you money, but in fact, they give you taxes, they raise tariffs, and next thing you know, you got $1,000, but you owe $4,000 in tariffs. So up front, it looks great. Down the road, you're fucked. You don't look down the road. They know that you are people who, shiny green object. It's green, it's purple, it's red. Oh my God, look over there, look over there. You guys are all over in the fucking, and don't pay attention that if you take this shiny red object, you're going to owe $4,000 down the road. By the end of the year, your taxes, you're going to owe $4,000, not get $10,000. And you just sit there, right now, I'll take it down. And they know you got this ADHD where you take it. And it's like, dude, he signed it. Even some of these dumbass people I saw, even young black people I was seeing, I'm like, well, he signed the check. No, he didn't. He did not. He signed it. And the fucked up part of it about it is, for Donald Trump to sign the stimulus check, that meant that stimulus check came late. That check was supposed to got to you a week or so earlier. But he held up the checks. You don't remember that part. Held up the check so he could have them signed, auto-pinned, so that you would think that somehow it came out of his pocket. And if you, no matter what race you are, if you literally thought that that check came with Donald Trump's name on it, that this dipshit gave you money out of his own fucking pocket, you're a dumb fuck. And you might want to go slap your mama or your daddy, because one of them is dumb as shit, if not both. Because how did you think? Even, well, I don't know why people thought, but the rapper, whichever one of the rappers, the female rapper, forgot her name. They all got the weird names now for me, but she was out there, Red or something, Sexy Red. I don't want to say it was her, but it was one of them. It was like, hey, he's one who got those stimmies. I said, your mom or dad, as soon as you walked in the house, should have backslapped the tooth out your fucking mouth saying some stupid shit like that in front of fucking people. I'll be ashamed if I raised a sperm cell like you that turned out this fucking stupid. Sign the check. Boy, I just don't understand it. I'm like, how in the world? You're lucky you got a talent, because you wouldn't have been able to sell nothing but your body, because that brain is fucked. You think that a check coming with a signed name on it, you can't add up that that's your own fucking money coming back to you. You think he took it out of his own pocket, knowing that the house is the owner of the purse. The house had to do it, not Donald Trump. And it's showing money. It's why did, see, dumbing down of America, civics class. All you had to do was take one. You should have had it like in 5th, 6th, no, I'm about to say about 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Should have had one. Oh my God, was it Cardi B? Rude is all in there, boys. I'll take Cardi. You got them all tonight. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love y'all smart people. Love you holding me accountable for the people too, because I'm like, I don't want to give nobody the wrong names and shit if it was right. But anyway, so the reason why I'm going into this is because you got to understand the history of what Donald Trump did and continues to do. Trying to hinder people's vote. Women too, before women's suffrage, when white women couldn't vote. Knowing also history that black men were allowed to vote before white women were, was a shock to me to learn, but it's a fact. Now, and just think how bad they thought of you white women, that they thought a black man was a fucking animal and they let him vote before they let you vote. What they think of you? I'm just saying. They really didn't like us, and they were sleeping with y'all, and they didn't want you to do anything. They thought you was lesser, that you had to earn out. I'm just saying. It was quite odd to learn that history. I was like, wow, they really don't like y'all, but y'all keep voting. Not all y'all, but y'all keep voting for the people that made you fight for your rights. And at this current moment, they're trying their damnedest to take the right for white women and other women, all women, but white women to not vote. And for you to start having babies at 14. It's weird. Just weird. But you start to go back and look and attach these things to history. What Donald Trump is doing when he says that nobody should be able to vote, it's illegal, all these negative things that he's attaching it to, he's attaching it to brown people, not to white people. Brown and black people. When he said it's a fraud and it's wrong, what states is he talking about? He's always talking about the majority black states. Understand me when I tell you, when they say things that are whistle, they're blowing this whistle of racism. White people who are racist knows what Donald Trump is talking about. They know that they're not talking about them. They're talking about black people and brown people, people of color. They want you to vote the way you normally vote. So if you got a mail-in ballot, you good. They don't want people of color doing it because we're crooked. You notice the mail-in ballots the last time he challenged were all majority black people of color states. Racist white people deal in subliminal messages. They can't say the N-word, so they mention other things that equate the N-word. How many of you guys knew the way the MAGA uses the word woke, they're literally saying the N-word. When they say no DEI, they're saying the N-word. How do you know they're saying the N-word? Because they have attached black people to those terms. And racist white people understand. They get the point. It's subliminal. This has been going on for a long fucking time. This is not something new. When racism and black people were starting to get the vote, they've been doing this forever. It's not new. Okay? I'm going to show you a video in a minute how this all worked. It was exposed on tape, it's off camera, but on tape audio. You're about to hear the strategy of Donald Trump, of Ronald Reagan, of every racist white person in this country. And if you don't take heed to it, you're going to fall for it once again. The things that they say, like, Haitians eating dogs, they're talking about black people are animals. When they talked about Latin people they're killers and rapists. When you go and look at the FBI stats, the majority of the rapers in this country are white men. So why do they always attach black people to the worst crimes when white men have done them the most in this country? Then they say, well, we're the majority people in the country. I don't care. Just because you're the majority doesn't mean that your percentages should be just higher all the time. Less than 4% of black people will ever commit a crime. Less than 4% of white people will ever commit a crime. But when you add up those numbers, we only make up 15%, 14, 15%, whatever it may be. It may be up to there now. Well, it's 13, 14. I think it's called 14 point something. 4% of that, as opposed to 4% of 200 million or 160 million, or what the fuck it is now. There's more of you doing these crimes. Who gives a damn about these percentages? If there are 10,000 lives killed by white people and 4,000 killed by black people, there are 6,000 bodies dead because of white people. Who gives a fuck about percentages? They try to use percentages to make it seem like, oh, well, they're not as bad. Well, then there's 10,000 bodies and match it up to 6. or even one point something million and it's 10 million. Black people are so bad. Really? We on this 1 million, y'all on 10. How the fuck are we bad? But people run with that. Same situation of you never heard of white on white crime. Why? They commit more crime than everybody else by the numbers. You hear black on black crime. You never heard Latin on Latin, Jewish on Jewish, Asian on Asian. You've only heard black on black. Racist country, right? Can't say it's not, because you don't count everybody else's crimes based on race. You count everybody else's crimes based on the individual in proximity. But black people get black. They're the criminals. That is the thing that runs in people's heads, automatically accounting black people for the most crimes when it's white men. Yeah, go look it up. But my point is, it's always been smoke and mirrors. And when you look at Donald Trump say, he can vote basically because, I'm the president. That was the first thing he said. And then he's like, like he was privileged. And then he was talking about the things outside of that. You can do it if you do this, and if you're not someplace, and if you got a business, and this, that, and the third. The percentages is what they care about. All those things he mentioned, he knows that white people have more than black people. There are more white people who are business people, so a lot of y'all can do it. There are more white people who have, to be able, they travel more. Planes and stuff like that, going back and forth to work, white people do that more. It's going to hurt some white people, but majority, it's going to hurt people of color. Right? Because you're traveling a lot, you can do mail-in ballots. But that's not something that black people normally do. Not a high percentage of us. So they pick things to say that you could do if there's a high majority of white people that do them. If it's a majority of black people that do them, then we want to create something that stops them from voting. So we're about to show you this as a fact, not just Drew making shit up. I want you to listen to Mr. Lee Atwater. I bleeped out the N-words because he said the N-word a shit ton of times. Did I have the audio up? No, I don't. Do I not have the audio up? Oh, it's not coming up yet. It's up. You got to read it.
Here's how I would approach that issue as a statistician or a political scientist, or no, as a psychologist, which I'm not, is how abstract you handle the race thing. In other words, you start out, and now y'all aren't quoting me on this. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts your backfire, so you say stuff like force busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now.
Okay, let me stop it right there. You people in the South carrying that flag and saying states' rights. Lee Atwater just said states' rights equal the N-word. Abstract is what he's trying to tell people, that the strategies they use is to let racist white people know that we're not talking about you. We're talking about N-words. So therefore, when you hear it, you know what we're talking about. This is the Southern strategy that Republicans use to win. Not Democrats, Republicans. Okay, let's go. Go back a little bit so you can hear it. I don't want you to miss none of this.
States' rights and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites.
Blacks get hurt worse than whites. These strategies, sad as they are, work. Until people wake the fuck up and recognize what they're doing to you. We're actually working this Donald Trump shit about these this, not voting and people are still in the vote and all that. This shit is working, even though there is no proof that immigrants are voting. None whatsoever. There's only proof at this point in time that the majority of people who try to cheat in elections and overvote or vote more than once and defraud people are majority, and I mean majority, like 90% or whatever it is, maybe even higher, Republicans. So how are they winning an argument when, one, the truth is not on their side, and two, when people do cheat, is majority them? It pisses you off when you know the truth and everybody walks around like the lie is the truth.
And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other. You follow me? Because obviously sitting around saying we want to cut taxes, we want to cut this, and we want is much more abstract than even the busing thing.
He said the N-word and the busing thing. Much more abstract than, N-word and then busing.
And a hell of a lot more abstract than. So any way you look at it, race is coming on the back burner.
I told you I spit facts. It may hurt, but I spit facts. Every time we're being fucked with our elections or anything of this nature, and now you got to apply this to everything they do. Everything they do is subliminal. Like he just said right there. You think about in life, when black people say there's racism still going on, and white people are like, oh, it's not really that bad. And black people will tell you, the subliminal racism, you have no clue. We know how racist people act in the very minute way. It's like we can see it if it's under a microscope. It may take a regular person, or let's say a white person, or a person who may not be in the realm that we've been in our whole life. They may have came from a different country, whatever, and haven't witnessed racism like we can. We can see it like it's a microscope. We see a very minuscule racism or racist acts or even racist looks. Whereas the average person who doesn't know about it, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, all right, walk up into his face. I promise you, he's going to give you a bad look. I promise you the N-word will come out of his mouth. We can figure out people who will say the N-word. Not everybody's got this gift, but I'm telling you, it's there within black people because we know how people walk, talk, act. We've had to study white people our entire life. You guys can walk around and ignore us all day, every day. I ain't even see no black person, whatever it may be. But trust me, black people, white people, they done seen you a mile away and done sized you up to know if they're safe around you, to know whether they can trust you, to know whether to cross the street because you might be a racist as fucking do some crazy shit. We know 100%. We see you coming. We kind of cool, but a lot of us are on that. Yep, that's one. You know what I'm saying? If it's a situation, depending on what kind of neighborhood you're in. You're in your own neighborhood, more than likely not, because we don't necessarily on purpose move to areas where you got rancid ass racist white people. We usually move to a place that's kind of like, everybody's out here. So we ain't got to worry so much. But when we could tell when Bubba's coming down the street, he might be nice. He might be racist. But we ain't taking our chances. We got an eye on him. When we walk past him, we kind of look back. All right, he's still going. All right, he's still going. It may sound funny, but it's true. It's highly true for many of us. That's when we talk about keep your head on a swivel and we talk about being woke. We're watching because we know the sucker punch. Racist people don't usually come to your face trying to do some crazy shit because more than likely they're afraid of you. But if they hate you enough, they'll wait till they get behind you. Then they'll hurt you because they want to sneak up on you. So that's what those are just like the worst parts of it. You're talking about the racist stuff, maybe at work and people say certain things, or even when you saw Pete Hegseth step up and had a racist moment against, what's his name? Big ears. Marco Rubio. When he said, can I speak Spanish? Can I speak my tongue? And then he did this shit. And then Pete Hegseth comes behind him. You don't have to worry about me, President Trump. I only speak American. That was racist. He knew it. Every white person in there knew it. Even Marco Rubio knew it. but he had to be subservient, the little lapdog, and take it. So you know now, whenever Donald Trump brings up ballots, absentee ballots, he's literally talking about black and brown people, immigrants, he believes. Those people should not be able to vote. And white people, you continue voting, because he never mentions white people when he mentions bad people cheating and voting. See, he believes, and all these other white people believe, that they are the chosen. So he ain't speaking to us when he's talking about fraud. When in fact, the only fraud that they found, the majority of the fraud they found are from white Republicans. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because racism is stronger than facts. And that's why I tell, when people say Republicans are all racist, I said, dude, tell me which Republican you know knew what I just said, knew that out loud, that you told them that they would believe it. So many of them, it's embedded in them that they don't even realize it's racist. But ask them why they don't feel like he's talking about them when he's talking about fraud. Because he don't call out your race. He doesn't say white people, but he brings up Latin people. He brings up black communities, minority communities. He brings up the poor. He brings up shithole countries. He never says anything bad about white countries. Even dictatorships where they're killing their people, he never says anything bad about white people. So they know they're safe. So now you know the strategy. What you going to do about it is the answer, is the question, rather. When it comes to this war, Nancy Mace came out and said some things today. She said the justifications presented to the American public for the war in Iran were not the same military objectives we were briefed on today in the House Armed Services Committee. This gap is deeply troubling. The longer this war continues, the faster it will lose the support of Congress and the American people. All right. I'm glad that she's getting to that level, but I'm like, y'all slow as hell. I'm like, yo, somebody right now, before this man when he started to send American people, like military people overseas, it's just put a break on it. Put a break on it. Sign that not resolution, but I forgot what it's called, the war something. Sign that real quick. Let's stop this shit. Let's stop funding this shit. Bring our boys and girls back. Y'all sit here for a second. Man, something wrong with you. You getting deeper and deeper into this war. We don't need that. If they were smart, if it was me, this is our country we're talking about. Our country is more important than one man. If it was me, if I had a decision to make, and if the Republicans really want to ever run this damn country again, you need to rein in your boy before we start losing lives. Can you imagine 30, 40,000 American military men just blown to fucking pieces, and you bringing them back in pieces inside off a plane, one after another, one after another? Do you understand your political careers is fucking over? You worried about this dude turning on you. America is going to turn on you and eat you alive. And at that point, because there's going to be a lot of these MAGA's kids, and they ain't going to have nothing but to go to a white cross and not even know that everybody else in here was dying for something. Your kid died for doing shit. Nobody knew why your kid died. Your kid wasn't saving America. Your kid was saving Donald Trump's ass from being a pedophile, being found a pedophile. Your child died because Donald Trump didn't want to be called a pedophile, didn't mean to be caught as a pedophile. You want your kid to die over a dude that's trying to hide from hurting children? You're a dumbass. Because I promise you, I feel bad for your kid dying. But if you don't step into this shit right now and fight for your child's life, you're part of the murder, MAGA. You're part of your own child dying, because this is some dumb shit. And Republicans, MAGA, y'all need to wise the fuck up. Let your fucking nuts finally drop, because they done sunken in. I think you got wussies right now, but just because you got a little slit and your balls is all up in your body, let them bitches drop and start actually doing your fucking job that you were sent to do. Call this war off. Get rid of that orange turd that rambles for no fucking reason. Sign that 25th Amendment. Put J.D. Vance as the president. Find a vice president and get this shit going. Now, I don't like J.D. Vance, but I sure as fuck don't like Trump. And if that fool has seen how you treated Trump, and Trump wasn't in line with what America wanted, J.D. Vance know we will do the same thing, if not worse, to him. And he just might have some act right in him for the remainder of the 2.5 years that he have. If you wanted to save your fucking careers, that is the route that you should be going. If you send their kids to death over a war that should have never fucking happened, and Benjamin Netanyahu, oh yeah, you thought it was a problem here in America before. Wait until these people are saying Jews will not replace us, have their babies killed over Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh, they're going to string some of them up. And I ain't trying to be kidding. For real. Their baby died over Benjamin Netanyahu? You think there's going to be some anti-Semitism going on? Fuck yeah. So you might want to head this shit off. You think this shit ain't going to blow up? It's going to blow up in your face. Donald Trump is one leg in the grave and on his knees, sinking to finish it off. And you're going to risk the rest of your fucking life for this dude who will most definitely be dead in the next couple years or so. Yeah, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. And here's the scary part. He's old. If he died tomorrow, none of the people who are running the damn country right now would know how to run it. They take their orders from him. If he died, our country's a shit. Who's running it? Huh? Where the leaders at? Pete Hegseth's a dipshit. What happens? You didn't think of that. Didn't even have a B plan for when this old piece of shit dies. Don't have it. The vice president, he don't even like his own wife. He make bad choices. He racist and married to an Indian woman. He had babies, and this man can't stand a brown woman. He can't stand that she's not Christian. He out here hugging Charlie Kirk's wife or touching her in the wrong places. In public. What are they doing behind the scenes? But in public. Yeah. Ain't nobody blind to this shit. Everybody sees it. I ain't telling nobody something that they ain't seen already. And that's going to lead you. I mean, he's better than Donald Trump, but the entire crew that he put there don't know their jobs. They literally do what Donald Trump tells them. Janine Pirro, this chick been trying to charge people. I thought she was a judge. She should know that there is no thing to actually charge with. I have no evidence, but I'm gonna try and take you to court. So you have no evidence. And as a person who used to be a judge, you can't determine that with no evidence, there should be no charges. I'm going to keep saying it. If she ever sent anybody to jail as a judge, and if they're still there, or if they had to serve time, they should be compensated. And if they're still in there, they should be free or retried. Because this heifer is stupid. How the hell does she have a law degree? How the hell did she rise up to judge? She had to sleep with somebody. Because this right here is disrespectful. To sit here and think that this woman was a judge and she can't even bring up a case with actual facts. She's like, we got any facts? Nope. Then why are we here? Corrupt judges because they wouldn't let you take shit. You can't even you go to grand jury. They said a ham sandwich. The judge won't even let her take it to the grand jury because she can't even get past her hurdle to get to the grand jury. Now that is a horrible, horrible, horrible lawyer that can't get past the process to getting to the grand jury. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I'm just like, wow, America, wow, we've gotten here. Now, America has decided, and I've seen a poll on MS Now, I think it's a Fox poll, of people of what they believe in this war, support for the war in Iran. All voters, 42%. I don't even understand that. I only see how 4 people out of 10 literally said, I'm for it. But again, that's higher than 30% of the 30% of America is dumbasses. We got an additional dumbasses added into this. MAGA Republicans, 90. Do you understand? Facts do not matter to that group. They literally are 90% behind. You talk about cult? I promise you, Donald Trump said we're going to round up all MAGA people. We're going to line y'all all up, and we're going to give y'all a gift. It's a metal thing that looks like a bullet. It sounds like a bullet when it's coming at you. But when I say pull, just duck and see which one of y'all survives. We want y'all all to line up and get ready for the MAGA event of the year. These fools will buy tickets, be wearing Trump gear, all lined up in a row, waiting to see if they can dodge a bullet. You'd be like, did you hear what he said? He said a bullet's coming at you. You got to duck. You can't duck a bullet. You got to be running and zigzagging. You can't just stand there and duck it. You don't know where it's coming. You go down, it could have shot below. You go up, you either fall, whatever. Just get shot, man. Just get shot. You dumb as fuck anyway. That's MAGA for you. 90% voting against their worst interest. They would just sit there and take it. Poop. Then the next one be like, I'm going to duck it. I'm going to get it. They would say, poop. I get it. All the way down the line. All 77 million. I'm going to get it. I'm like, 69 million have not gotten it. How about you run? Whew. All Republicans, 77. Independents, 28. Liberals, 13. There was one of you? All Democrats, they're Fetterman. There's Fetterman. That's who they asked. You know it. You can pretty much guess it. But that's insane. It's insane. Now, we're gonna watch the last part of this show is gonna be making fun of Donald Trump. Because this motherfucker had a full-on extravaganza 17-hour fucking event of talking about absolutely nothing. But we're gonna debunk a lot of it. It is a lot. It is a lot. But it's like 3 different reels. But let's get into it. If I can get it started. Go jump up there. There you go. Support the war. That is tragic. Yeah, 42%. It's crazy.
We will not negotiate. Of course they negotiated. They've been obliterated. Who wouldn't negotiate? They are begging to make a deal. I mean, I read a story today that I'm desperate to make a deal. If I was desperate, he'd be the first to know. Let's get that.
He's too much of a wussy to tell everybody. You can look at him and tell he's desperate. His laugh was desperate. It's like, dude, look at this boy. Look at him.
If I was desperate, he'd be the first to know. Let's get the hell out of there. I'm the opposite of desperate. I don't care.
That he never lied about. He doesn't care about Americans at all. For this man, your kids are being already 13 or so have been killed, and over 200 or whatever, 250 now. I don't know how many there is. The number's kind of all over. Of your children have been harmed, and you have no reason why. This man is supposed to be like the leader and protector of your babies, of your husbands, of your friends and loved ones, and this man does not care. He literally thinks that your kids who've died and got hurt and may have PTSD are suckers and losers because many of those military men and women came back unscathed. He celebrates them and talks shit about your babies, and you MAGA people out here like, yeah, that's my guy. If I was y'all, this is straight up true for me. If he was my leader and I was in the military, oh, y'all be like, yo, man, can't go. Why can't you go? I just can't, man. I really want to go with y'all over to overseas. I can't do it. I just can't. I wish I could, though. I wish I could be like y'all, but I just can't do it. They'd be like, why can't you go? I got bone spurs, man. They hurt. Oh, my goodness, these bone spurs. I got them in both feet. See, ow. I'm just standing here. They hurt. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I even feel it in my stomach. Oh, it's in my neck now. Oh, my God. I can't go. To be straight up, I would seriously be, I got bone spurs. Doc, tell him. Mr. Bone Spurs, you got to understand, Trump. I got bone spurs. You understand it now, right? Okay. All of them should be leaving with bone spurs. That's what I would do. Tell you. Yeah, I heard they're going to have a draft too, Alice. I'm not sure. I heard it. And they extended the age to 42. How desperate do you have to be to get a 42-year-old to just join the military? Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's insane. But Donald Trump is desperate. Of course he's desperate. He lied to us and said the dude that they had sent him a gift and all this other shit, and that that they wanted to end it. And here it is. The first contact to anybody was to Donald Trump to Pakistan, to Iran. Pakistan is the one who said they gave information to Iran, and Iran said, fuck them. So the conversation has been by us to Pakistan, to them. And it's like, they want to deal real bad. If they wanted to deal real bad, Trump, why is it that they had to respond to your deal? If they wanted it, they would have been the one to initiate it and then tell you what they wanted. And then you would have been the person to say no to them. The person in power, the person who has it, is the one that gets to make the decision that says yes, that says no to you. You sent it to him. That means you wanted something from him. And he said no. That means he's empowered. How the hell do people with brains not get this? Donald Trump's like, oh, bravado, bravado, bravado. And I'm like, your actions are, you're begging, you're desperate. They said no. And now you got a press conference for 2 fucking hours plus trying to negate the fact. And like I said, if you watch, I didn't get a chance to watch all this. I saw a lot more than I needed to see. But when you see Donald Trump speak, there's no doubt that they should be like limited capacity. He's not all there. 25th Amendment. He's not capable of leading. This is fictitious leading. This is production of leadership. This is acting and bad, like not even B. Is Z acting. This dude is not who he says he is. He's bullshitted this entire country. He's conned America. That is scary. Not us, but that 77% who got together, he's conned the shit out of them. But he's scared shitless. You got to understand that. Why else would he even be contemplating the fact? Because again, we don't have them by the short hairs. They got us. Every country doesn't want to help us. We don't sit there. Let's get it straight. Iran got bombed after trying to trust America, right? Then all of a sudden, Iran starts shooting back. Now, America and the military has been doing their things. The jets and all this shit's been doing their things, blowing up shit and all that. But they still in the fight. You haven't blown up everything, even though Donald Trump says he has. They still got fighting them. Why do you want to negotiate with somebody that doesn't have weapons, that doesn't have control? Okay? So it doesn't make sense that you're in control, you're winning, when you're the one that's getting hurt. Iran has not asked for anybody to help them out. We have begged at least 3 countries to help us, and every one of them said, fuck no. So how are we in control when everybody said, yo, you started this without us and we don't know what you're doing? You don't have any strategies to tell, you don't have no strategy to tell us why we would get in it. That's you. That's a you problem. Our longest and strongest ally, Europe, is literally like, Starmer is like, no, we worried about what's going on over here. We don't know what they're doing. We have no clue. We ain't gonna jump into something and then we are in the midst of losing our lives over what? Far as we know, Donald Trump just wanted a peanut butter sandwich and the dude didn't give it to him so he could start the fight. Is that stupid? We don't know. So why the fuck are we jumping in on something that's just stupid? We don't join. People don't jump in. If you're gonna jump in with your homie and fight with him, you don't want to be dead because this dude, your boy, is the one who fucked up. Now you're gonna fight if he getting jumped. Of course, you're gonna help him out. And then all of a sudden, you all bloodied up, and your boy tell you, "What was that all about, man? You know, I was talking to his girl, and did you know it was his girl? Yep, I'm gonna pop the shit out of my friend. You mean I don't fucking lost blood for your dumb ass for doing stupid shit, man? Boy, that's the shit that they're doing. I ain't coming here and losing my people over some shit that you started, and you don't even know why you started it. You're to blame. We come in defense of when somebody attacks you, bro. We don't come join you when you attack people when we don't know what it's about. We get on the wrong side of history. In all honesty, every last one of these countries, if they joined us, they would automatically become war criminals. Because what we did, blowing those kids up, war crime. They're going to come into a war criminal war? You crazy shit. And Israel knew nobody else was going to join them but dipshit Don. And he joined all gung-ho. And we don't need anybody. Can you help? Can you help? Can you help? Can you help? We don't need y'all anyway. Can you help? I mean, that shit don't make any sense. They're in the weakest fucking position, but every day come out acting like they're in the strongest position. Again, mediocre white men, I want y'all to understand something. Strength, power, superiority, supremacy, whatever it may be. People recognize it by the way you walk and not necessarily the way you talk. It can be, but how you handle yourself. If you're bravado and saying this is that I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that and I'm the best and I got this, I got guns, we're killing them, we're beating them, and it doesn't appear that way because people got eyes and ears and decisions to be made. Every country is looking at America and saying they got this fool. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if y'all seen it. Europe and all of, they are all making fun of Donald Trump. They all, I haven't seen one country, I ain't seen them all, but I haven't seen a lot. Not one of them I have seen have come to America's like aid leadership. They talk about Americans really great. Their leadership, I've seen many saying, how did America ever elect that? What's wrong with America? Not we love America. What's wrong with America? Why would they elect somebody like this? And why aren't they stopping him from doing this? They're just letting 250 years of a reputation to some degree. As you know, history is kind of a bad reputation, but still, this reputation that we fooled everybody with the greatest thing since sliced bread, we're letting it fall the fuck apart. And the Republicans have no balls to do nothing about it. And MAGA, independents, and dipshits allowed this dude back in the office after he literally led a coup. He tried to destroy democracy the worst way that you possibly could. And you still let him back in the door. You can't call yourself patriots. MAGA, you are literally the enemy of this country. And once this country grabs itself back, we need to find out a way how we can get you out of the country. Because you are enemies of the country. You can't love this country if you're trying to destroy it. We have been through some harsh times in this country, especially people of color and black people. We've been through some harsh times in this country. You have never seen us try to destroy democracy. You've seen us fight and die to make it a better country for all people that live in it. When you see white people fight for this country, they're trying to kill everybody off just so it can be white. Trying to fuck everybody up and throw them in jail. Trying to call everybody bad. There's no uniting when it comes to white leadership. It's all about pushing everybody away and uniting with rich white people. They ain't even trying to help poor white people. So why you keep putting leaders that don't care about you in place? It's the sucker punch to get you to hate people of color while fucking over yourself. And you know, no matter how many times you tell people this, good white people know because they can pay attention. They know history. They can learn. Smart white people can. But this dipshit core of 77 million plus cannot. They are united around stupidity. And you got to understand something. If you could get 77 million plus Americans to all be a dipshit in unison, and you can't get Democrats in that way because we're not in cults. We don't think, we don't like group think. Republicans group think. That's why they have that motto. Republicans fall in line. Democrats have to fall in love. They don't care. They just fall in line. If I told them that everybody's jumping off the bridge, they fall in line. Democrats have to fall in love with the idea of jumping off that bridge. And you gotta, nope, ain't in love with that idea. They just follow. And what does that mean? That means Democrats think and Republicans by nature are sheep. One jumps, the rest jumps. But they will tell you to your face that they're free thinkers. How? You all jumping off the bridge. That's sheep behavior. We think about it and we have difference of opinions. There's no group think over here. You see what I'm saying? They play mind games and stupid people get the prizes. Even cutting taxes is racist. When they talk about it, cutting taxes meant N-word. I didn't say that. The racist dude, Lee Atwater, said that. Because it's going to affect black people in a worse way, more so than white people. Think about the strategy of what taxes actually does, because they're going to do something else. They're going to raise something when they give you something. And black people will be harmed more than white people will. Even though white people will get harmed. That's how they play that trick too, because a poor white person be like, it hurt me too. I'm like, it was planned to. Well, it's not a black thing. It hurt the white people. I said, no, it was a black thing. And you were a casualty because you are in the area of what most black people are in. So if you're making, $100,000 or less, you're in that area where black people are a lot in. So if you're white, Latin, Asian, whatever, in between that, majority of black people over here, so you're fucked too. Then they say, it can't be racism, but it really is. You're just a casualty in this war of racism. Never thought about it that way, did you? For most people.
They are begging to make a deal. We'll see if we can make the right deal. And if they make the right deal, then the strait will open up. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression, never forget. Can never forget.
Okay, what he's meaning by this never forget is in his crybaby way. He's talking, they had mentioned about Europe not coming to our aid. That Europe had literally, we've helped them, and NATO, we've helped them. They've never helped us. When in fact, we're the only people that NATO has helped. 9/11 happened, NATO. The only time NATO has come together to fight a big war is for America. So this dude is either stupid or just stupid. So he's like, they never come to help us. They did. They didn't come to help you because you started the war. See, the other way around, NATO is a defensive organization. So if you get attacked, they're there to help you defend yourself because you're in NATO. They are not like the Gestapo that you get to hire and say, hey, look, I put a lot of money in this. Ride along with me. That ain't how that works. Never did. Not in the bill. Not the way it was written ever. Just to go to war with you if you start the war. It's when a country attacks you, NATO helps. So if NATO is going to help somebody, they would help Iran if Iran was in NATO. Because that's their thing. We attack somebody. They help the people who get attacked. That's the way we do it. They helped us because we got attacked. Any war that we start, they never help us. That's just not how it works. And he's mad. He's like, just don't forget. I ain't going to help you. You have to. Not unless if somebody bombs anybody in UN, America has to help. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why when we talk about Ukraine, this dipshit don't understand. If Russia takes Ukraine, they're going to try and go for the next country, Poland. If they try to get Poland, it's World War III, bitch. That's just 100%. It can't be, no, I don't want to do it. No, that's the deal. That's why you put money into this. That's why we armed. That's why we're all united, supposedly. If it happens, we have to jump in and take care of that. It's the agreement. Period. This dude is lost in the sauce, yo. He don't have a clue. He's a leader of the country, but he doesn't know the country's rules, regulation, laws, or nothing. I'm like, he's running something else. Trumptopia, not America. And these Republicans will let him turn America into Trumptopia. And I'm like, yo, fix this shit. America. I'm an American, not a Trumpian.
Before this started, the Dow hit 50,000. The S&P hit 7,000. Both of those achievements were not achievable. This ballroom is going to be something that's so beautiful for the city, so desperately needed by presidents. I mean, now it's no secret the military wanted it more than anybody. See this pen right here? This pen is an interesting.
Military wanted the ballroom more than anybody. Why is it that we've never heard of the military wanting a ballroom? And again, why would the military want a ballroom? They're not thinking about ballrooms or pageantries.
It's the same thing. So this pen is very inexpensive, but it writes well. I like it. I'm the only president that ever took a cognitive test. I took it 3 times.
Yo. This man thinks a cognitive test is an IQ test. 25th Amendment. This man is bragging that his doctor thinks that there is something wrong with him, that he has to keep taking cognitive tests. Do you understand? Nobody takes a cognitive test unless there's something wrong with your cognitive skills. And they want to know how much they have deteriorated or what's going on, or if they have deteriorated, like there's some issue with you that forces them to go down this path to give you this test. And it's not like rocket science test. It is like, this is a rhinoceros. What is this? And then listen to what I hope I got it, but listen to how he goes into depth. When I first heard about this, I don't know how many of you did it, but when I first heard about this, they say, what's this test he's talking about? This was way back when he was president the first time. And he came out, he was on camera outside the White House, like near the Rose Garden, I guess. And he's like, person, woman, man, camera, TV. All the things he mentioned were right in front of him, and everything he mentioned, he said in front of him. Person, woman, man, whatever, camera, I'm on TV. He remembered what he just pointed, and when he said, see, and then I can repeat it. And he points when he's doing it. He's like, with his hand or with his head. He's like, person, woman, camera, TV. He's recognizing everything in front of him. It's not like off the top of the dome. He named shit that was in front of him. He cheats right in front of you, and you're like, oh, well, he did it. Just slow. But then he continues on down this path of explaining how it gets harder. I took this test. It's not hard. Not unless you have cognitive skill problems. But
It's actually a very hard test for a lot of people. It wasn't hard for me. But it's a cognitive test. It starts off with an easy question. And by the time you get to the middle, it gets tougher. By the time you get to the end, very few people can answer those questions. You get
those questions at the end, I want you to go do it if you can. No, don't do it. Just look at it. I won't give you no homework. I ain't like that. But if you ever find this test, the end of these tests, and I don't know if there's multiple ones or different ones. I just know which one I took. At the end of the test, where he's talking about there's hard questions, and they get into the math. Do you understand the math is literally something to the effect of, I need you to count from 100 to like, I don't know, 90 or whatever it may be, by fives. So you're doing 100 to like whatever, 100 to 50 by fives, what it may be. It's not that long, but you would be like 100, 95, 90, 85, 80, 75, 70. Do that for like 9 numbers back. That's the hard math he's talking about. 25th Amendment. I'm saying 25th Amendment. This man thinks he took 3 cognitive tests and they are intelligence tests, and that Biden couldn't do it because Biden has cancer. He didn't have, like this cognitive fuck up that you had. He could literally speak about shit. He may be slow and stuttering a little bit, but he literally would give a speech about history and be accurate. He was there, just old. You're not there and have never been there. Your own college professor said you weren't there when you was in your 20s. It is what it is, yo. This man thought that it was hard.
very tough mathematical equations and things.
Mathematical equations and things. And I think they tell you there's a triangle, there's a square. I don't be making fun of people who have cognitive skills problems, because that's a sad thing to go through. I'm not making fun of that. I'm sorry they're going through it. But this dude is going through it. Have been for years. And I don't know what kind of miracle medicine he's taking, and, baby, embryos or whatever the fuck this man is having to eat to try and prolong his life. But I guarantee you, when he's dead, and if they ever release anything about his finances, you will see this man did everything from swallowing rhino nuts to whatever it is that they don't come up with that can prolong your life with this mental issue that he has. He done taken it. Because for a man to sit here and brag about a test that literally says, if you took it more than once, something wrong with you, bruh. To take it the first time, it's scary because they recognize that you're declining and they want to see how much. And his result, if it was perfect, he doesn't need to take it again. He's taken it 3 times. He says. One more rambling Trump. And he talked about the pen. I mean, I'm like, he all over the place, yo. I'm like, this is about the war. It could have ended it. 3 hours. Just bizarre shit this man talked about. 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours or something.
But it writes well. I like it. He said, I'll paint it black. I said, that's nice. And I can even paint the White House on it, sir, if you like, in gold. Almost real gold, not bad. And I can even do your signature, sir. But the bottom line is, they're better pens. It's a business story. So for
that laughter, scary. What's funny? You see an old man declining, talking about a pen and what the dude said to him. He's not in an old folks' home talking to the toothless dude next to him who's eating boogers and shit. He's talking about the American people who are way older than this. It's not a fucking joke. and people are being sent to death, and you're sitting here in this cabinet meeting. You understand these cabinet meetings are recorded, not unless they're not recording it illegally. The script to this is going to be insane. In the future, year 2000 or some shit, if they go back and look at this, be like, what in the fuck was wrong with this dude? He was a president? He was talking about a pen with gold on it in a cabinet meeting. If Joe Biden, Obama, had literally even uttered half of these words, they'd be out.
$5 could be zero, but for $5, I get a much better pen than for $1,000. Someday they'll discover a paint that will look like gold, and the guy's going to be the richest man in the world. I'm the only president that ever took a cognitive test. I took it 3 times.
I'm not going to bore you with this stuff anymore. That was it. But I just had different clips of this man rambling in a meeting about the war and things going on outside of that, and him voting, and just... And mind you, they have yet to have a meeting to tell the American people why we're at war. We need to make a holiday. Ooh, we need to make a holiday. It should be called Smack the Taste Out of a MAGA Day. Something like that. Maybe too long. Smack a MAGA Day? There you go. Smack a MAGA Day. Walk up and just smack the shit out of him. It's your fault, you piece of shit. Walk past him. Fuck you. Why? Did you vote for Trump? Fuck you. It's called fuck a Trump. Fuck you, Trump. Fuck. I got to work on it. It's coming off the top of the dome. But we need to have that holiday real quick. It's just for the rest of MAGA life. You vote for MAGA? Yeah, I did. Fuck you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got about this dipshit in the country we living in. I just hope the guy, Sama, smack a MAGA. I see you, Amalia. I'm telling you, man, it is insane. It's insane. I just pray every night, man, this nightmare ends. I keep waking up and the bit's still there. I'm like, where you gonna take him? Can't you speak to the devil, God? Can't you just speak to the devil for a hot second and just ask him to do you a solid? You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, I'm crazy. You guys have a great night. I've heard the latest, his signature is going to be on the paper money. Texas Diva, I heard that. I heard his signature, he's going to sign some money. I hope it doesn't happen. I know they mentioned it. I hope he mentioned it, but I hope to God it doesn't happen. I mean, aren't we supposed to still, who was there, he stopped that the first time he was president. He was supposed to have on, I think it was on the, that's one that was going to go on a $20 bill, and they was going to put her on the back and keep Jackson, I think it is, on the front. I was like, fuck that, take Jackson off. Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was supposed to be on one of the dollars. I think it was a $20 bill. Is that the one with Jackson? I don't be looking at money. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Y'all say have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time. Oh, it's Thursday. Thought it was Friday for a second there. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you when I see you.